So I'm going to have another viewpoints about reviewing the literature as presented in this book, no, Educational Research by Person Education, published in 2019, 2015, and 2012. So these are the learning objectives. We only have to define what a literature review is and why it is important. Identify the 6 steps in conducting a literature review. Although I presented many resources already in my YouTube channel, I have my own video about conducting the review of related literature. But I want to cite also other references because more resources would actually give you a better idea on how to make your own review of related literature. So what is a literature review and why is it important? A written summary of the literature describe past and current information and research organized into subtopics based mainly on research reported in journal articles. Document how your study adds to literature. For quantitative study, justifies the importance of the research problem at the beginning of the study, supports the theory or explanation used in the study, foreshadows the purpose and research questions. Compare results at the end of the study. So when you are done with your study, you're going to compare your findings with previous studies based on your review of the related literature. For a qualitative study, documents the importance of the research problem at the beginning of the study. Compare and contrast findings with other studies at the end of the study. So what are the 6 steps in conducting a literature review? So this actually from Person Education. So identify key terms. So the key terms must be identified and then paste that one kay Google, Google Scholar, or any other search engines. Locate the literature, evaluate and select the literature. Why you're going to evaluate and select? Because those literature are not scientific, from blogs, from Wikipedia, no for review of related literature. It must be from reputable journals or theses or dissertations published from reputable universities and colleges. So organize the literature, synthesize the literature with a literature review, write a literature review. Do not make use of a copy and paste or a cut and paste, because if you're going to do that, that must be totally wrong. In our case, you are going to look at into that review of literature that is actually present in the article, difficulties encountered, blah, blah, blah. You can copy, but you are going to cite, but make some changes of those literature that is actually based on how you use that literature in your own research proposal or in your own research. The 6-step literature review, identifying key terms, write a preliminary working title. Select 2 or 3 keywords that capture the central idea. Remember, in English, you are taught on how to capture, how to identify the central idea. Pose a short general research question to answer in the study. Then use words that authors report in the literature. Use online databases to search literature. We have eric.ed.gov. You can go there, you can find many literature about education. Review journal holdings and scan tables of contents for key terms. Examine electronic databases, academic search premier. We have used academic library resources, peer-reviewed articles, textbooks. Be cautious of Wikipedia. No? So in my case, I told you, no for Wikipedia. Primary and secondary sources. No? So we look at this one. So low standards to ensure quality to high standards to ensure quality. Then on the other side, ideas appear first, then we have ideas appear in 10 plus years. So we have that concept in a non-stricter manner within the last 10 years, but in a stricter manner within the last 5 years. If you can have that one within the last 2 years, okay, much better. Next, 6-step literature review. Locate the literature. Databases that index journal articles. Social science citation, EBSCO, Google Scholar, dissertation abstracts, ERIC, PsycInfo, sociological abstracts, reference management software. So I want you to explore this one, third assignment, no? For this coming Tuesday, third assignment. I want you to explore all of these, no? Databases, social science citation index, EBSCO, Google Scholar, dissertation abstracts, ERIC, PsycInfo, sociological abstracts. And then we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Then plus 3 other databases nga not found in the slide, but according to your research, according to your initiative to find other databases. 7 mandatory that you are going to explore that one. And then the other 3 to make it 10, the other 3 should be based on your own exploration in the different websites and in the internet. No? And how are you going to do assignment number 3? We have social science citation, and then you are going to screenshot what is that in there, what is in there. EBSCO, screenshot what is in there. Google Scholar, what is in there. So forth and so on, up to sociological abstracts. Go to that database and then screenshot what is actually in there. And then the last 3 would be your own exploration. But still, screenshot of the first, screenshot of the second, screenshot of the third. After all screenshots, I want you to write your own understanding from each of the 10. Handwritten. So is that clear to everyone?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
So we have still in the 6-step literature review, evaluate and select the literature. Is it a good, accurate source? Is it a national journal? Is it a refereed or peer-reviewed source? Is it a research study? Then take note about the inclusion of quantitative and qualitative So we look at into the entire process, no? Evaluating and selecting the literature. So is the source worthy of inclusion? Topic relevance. Is the literature on the same topic as your proposed study? Individual and site relevance. Does the literature examine the same individuals and sites you want to study? Problem relevance. Does the literature examine the same research problem as you propose in your study? Accessibility relevance. Is the literature available in your library or can it be downloaded from a website? So gather studies in terms of organization of the literature. Gather studies, take notes, and then abstract. So meaning you're going to make a summary of those different studies. The structure is essentially the same for quantitative and qualitative research studies. Research problem, research questions or hypotheses, data collection, results of the study. All of these must be found now in your summary of those different studies that you have reviewed. Each study being reviewed, each literature being reviewed must contain research problem, research questions or hypotheses, data collection procedure, research results of the study, the findings of the study, the different research methodology being used, the statistics being used, the conclusion, and then recommendation. So all of those must be found in your summary. So organize important concepts rather than chronological aspect. Might develop a table of major concepts and related literature might develop a visual diagram of the literature. It is important to interrelate the concepts in there. Not in the case nga, you look at this one, then the next one, then the next one, but we cannot actually interrelate those different side sections of your review of related literature. In other words, there must be coherence of your presentation of your review of related literature. So we have literature map. You are going to look at into figure or drawing displaying research literature on a topic, constructing a literature map, identify key terms for the topic and put them at the top of the map. Sort studies into topic areas or families of studies. Provide a label for each box, which will become a heading for the review. So we have figure 3.7. This is an example of a literature map in a hierarchical design. So study abroad programs, US programs. So you notice that all are actually coming from the study abroad programs and it goes to different boxes. No? So these are actually some of the mappings that you are going to do in the process of making a literature. So constructing a literature map, develop the map on as many levels as possible. Draw a box toward the bottom of the figure that says my proposed study. Draw lines connecting the proposed study with other branches of the literature. So we look at figure 3.8, no? Literature map, the circular design. So need for study. So we look at into the non-English speaking cultures. So what is the question? The short-term study abroad program in non-English speaking cultures help create cultural responsiveness in pre-service teachers. So we have study abroad programs, with the US programs, and within that big circle there or big oblong, you can find many subcomponents. And so with the US program, geometric figure, you can find many components. And these are actually part of the circular design of your literature map. So writing a literature review. So we have end of text references are listed at the end. Within text references are brief citations within the text. Headings and subheadings divide the material. Various levels of headings. Now, the end of text references, the within text references are actually found in the American Psychological Association 6th edition. So go over again that file, go over end of text references and within text references. So we have writing a literature review in a thematic approach. So literature documents the theme identified by the researcher. No study is discussed in detail. Study by study review, detailed review of each study, studies grouped by themes, summaries linked by transitional sentences, and organized under subheadings. So as you go from one study to another study, if the studies are actually supporting to each other, the ideas are supporting to each other, you can actually say in addition, moreover. And you can actually look at into ideas nga contradicting to each other. So you can actually say in contradiction, contradictory to what is mentioned in the first study. So things like those that you learn in your English courses in high school and even in college, purposive communication. So all the skills that you have learned in your English courses can be applied here in research proposal writing. Remember that writing a research, writing a proposal, writing a literature review for your proposal would not be successful if you're not going to apply your writing skills. So review what you have learned in those English courses that you have taken. Writing skill is very important. The communication skill in general is actually in research methods. So concluding statement. Summarize the major themes found in the literature. Then end with a rationale for the need for your study based on this literature review. So take note of bullet number 1 and then bullet number 2. Re-examining the parent involvement and the mother's trust in principal's studies. So documents the importance of the research problem at the beginning of it, provides evidence for important factors of the model to be tested, provides evidence for the research questions, provides an explanation for the results at the end, citing other studies, and by returning to the theoretical predictions. In terms of qualitative trust in principal study, documents the importance of the research problem at the beginning of the study, does not foreshadow the research questions, which are broad in scope to encourage participants to provide reviews, is used to compare with the findings of the present study at the end of the study. So all that I mentioned are actually copyrighted from Person Education and published way back 2019, 2015, and then 2012. Stop sharing.